Well, I guess at 7:30, I probably should go live. See who we all got in the chat. Everybody's already been here chatting for a while, it looks like. Oh my goodness. Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome to 2024. See some people have already been out fishing, and I'm probably going to be a while away. Hmm. That is weird that Stream Elements is telling me that my old made an old connection to Twitch, which I don't know why. It was streaming to my old gaming Gramp Grandpa Thrash channel, but it's I have to figure that out and fix it later. Not really worry about it. We're live on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook tonight. Welcome to 2024. Figured I'd hop on for a little bit to say hey to everybody. Beard's looking all raggedy. I need to trim it up for work tomorrow. Man, just looking like complete day. What's up, everybody? Hope you guys are off to a great 2024 first day in. Man, wanted to pop in a little bit tonight, talk about, well, we're going to have some, changes. We went from fishing with Gramps to Hickman Outdoors, late last fall. And, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the changes we got going on. Some partners we're going to keep, some other partners we're not going to keep. Changing up a little bit of the way we do things. It's been a lot of fun over the last 3 years. We started out during the Ronas doing a lot of how-to teaching videos, things like that, get people interested in the sport. We've kind of progressed from there, fishing a lot of tournaments and stuff. Not going to be as many tournaments this year. It's just it's this year's going to be a little more about adventures and camping and doing some other things. Not going to be many videos over the next month or two. My initial goal is obviously Jeremy and I are without kayaks until we get our new ones ordered and in. Probably sometime in February or early March. Got to be by early March because we got to get ready for the Kayak Bass Fishing National Championship, which we have a lot of the fishing fam already signed up for. I think there was 128, I think I saw take advantage of the early signups. If you didn't sign up yesterday, you're paying $100 more starting today. It's just one of those things. It's they need to know so they can plan and so forth and so on. I've had some people reach out and ask about, our Airbnb and housing and all that. I'm down the line on the VIP list when it comes to that. So somebody else already has that one booked. Yes, Jeremy, Matt, and I are staying with that person, but that house is full by the person who gets the priority on that house because it's literally his buddy that rents it out. So I've had some other people asking if we had extra room and things like that. The inn is full. That's all I can say. It's at its max capacity. Freedom Squad's going to be staying in the same spot. Me, Matt, and Jeremy, and 2 or 3 others. But that's that house is full. So, I would say reach out to Damon about his house. I know Joe Drowns also down there has a house. So if you're needing somebody to look with, to get with some people to get a house in a B&B and so forth, I can try to hook you up until it gets taken. But there's a lot of people booking early because this event is actually early in the year. We actually started talking about going to the Bassmaster Classic this year, which is at the Lake of the Ozarks, but we're going to be missing that this year because that event is literally the week before the national championship. And I can't go to the classic and then turn around and take off the, 7 or 8 days that I need to go down and get ready for the KBF national championship. What other big derbs are we going to fish? My goal is to try to fish the Kayak Bass Fishing National Championship, one of the Bassmaster Kayak Series events, most likely maybe the one at Gunnersville, or I think Damon said his is booked for the NC. Wouldn't surprise me. I'm going to fish. Let's see. I'm going to fish the KBF National Championship. I'm going to fish one of the Bassmaster events. I might fish 2 because one, I might do the Susquehanna, and I might do Gunnersville down there, which I probably will do the Gunnersville since it's in May around my birthday. And then one of the Kayak Adventure Series events, I will be going to either the Susquehanna one or the one that's in Kentucky, maybe both. But so those are the bigger national, traveling stuff like that we're going to try to do. We, me, whoever. That's kind of like my goals this year. I really spent on spending a lot of time chasing smallies, doing a lot more creek fishing, doing a lot more camping. Somebody asked any grubby events. I will sprinkle. I don't have like any one series in grubby that I want to fish. I like to fish a lot of individual events. I'm not going to go try to win AOI at any one place. um I got guys that grew up fishing these lakes. I mean, I'm not gonna, I might squeeze out a second or third place win. Someday I might have the day of my life and actually, catch enough fish on one of these places. I thought I had one place figured out this year and did worse on it this year than I did last year, and I spent a lot of time there. Just one of those things. You either get into them or you don't. But yeah, I'll fish some grubby events this year. I actually fish on. I'm going to fish probably some Syak, which is local. Um, but the goal will be mostly to. I will fish enough challenge series events to qualify for the national championship again. Again, my goal isn't to win these things. I mean, yeah, if I have the day of my life and win one, that's cool. But I just don't put that much time into it. You guys know I spend most of my life editing videos and trying to film content. This year, the goal is to, film and do more better videos that are fun to watch, a little bit longer videos. I don't really care much to sit back and hear and, oh, look, the new chatterbait Evo come out. Yeah, they're good for hits and stuff like that. But I mean, there's enough people that, not a lot of the folks that I'm reaching anymore are folks that are pretty new to fishing. I mean, it was during COVID, but I mean, yeah, if you've seen one chatterbait Evo video, sure, I'll talk about it when I'm on the water. And since it's a chatterbait, I will talk about the rods and so forth that I like to use. I think you guys have followed along long enough to know that, yeah, I can catch fish. I mean, I can hold my own in tournaments or wherever, whatever. Been doing this for, I laugh when Randy Blockett talks about this crap, and it's like, I've made $1 million. Well, dude, anybody who's been working 50 years has made $1 million over the lifetime of their career. I've probably pissed that much away in fishing equipment and so forth over, 5 decades of fishing. But yeah, it's, well, not a million, but a bunch, and when you talk about what you make over your career, you've been doing anything for 40 or 50 years, you've probably made $1 million total over that lifetime. I mean, yeah, it's yeah, but you know what? Some people like to listen to him sit and talk in his, man cave, and it's that apparently gets views. Whatever. I'm doing more of the thinking of Richard Gene, creek fishing adventures and John B style. Just, let's get out, show some adventures, show what it is that we like about this, and go from there. Um, I'll talk about rods and reels and new things that come out or things that I found that I really like that work for me. Because we are partnering with American Legacy Fishing, and that's part of what being part of that partnership is. Am I going to sit here and push monster bass boxes on you? No, I think they make good gifts. I think they're good for new anglers. I'll talk about the things that I do like, especially for monster bass. Jeremy's had a lot of success throwing their crankbaits through top waters. I've had success throwing the lunker sticks that they collaborated with Doomsday Tackle. Their terminal, their tungsten kits, I think, are top notch. So I'll talk about the things that I think bring value to you. But, for the most of the people that follow along, a subscription box to anybody's whatever. But we'll talk about the stuff that does work, and, we'll talk about the baits that do work. Jeremy's done a lot, and, he'll be doing that much since he's actually in the process, and that's why he's not in the live right now. He's in the process of moving. The area that he lives in, it's going to be a pain in the butt for him to get enough internet. Literally, he just set up a new place with power, septic, water, the whole nine. So he'll have to try to figure out, because he lives out in the country, or he'll be living in the country, how good of internet that he can get so he can get back to joining us on the lives. But again, it's going to be a couple months process, and he won't be fully moved down here until like next August when his lease up in Indy is up. But we're gonna, talking about a lot of that stuff too, and Matt brings up a lot of the stuff. It's kind of funny. we talked about wanting to get back into camping again, and one of the reason why I think we can bring you guys some value there, if you don't camp a lot or you're not much into the bushcraft life, um, I'll be honest and I'll say it forthright. One of the reasons why I'm working on getting in shape and working out again is so I can go out, do more, be more, and spend more time out in the woods and do other things too. But I am the primary example of this. I think a lot of men and women in this country have become soft. We sit around, we do too much, we eat too much, we're not hard. And a lot of us know survival skills, but a lot of us wouldn't make it a week if there was no power. If an ice storm took you out, could you? I mean, honestly, I tell this to people with young children all the time. And this happened to me when my kids were little. There was an ice storm that came through from Louisville up through central Indiana, and it took out power it took out power for a while. You get that much ice on lines, and the power goes down. A tornado, ice storms, things like that. How would you heat your house if you don't have electricity? A lot of people don't have wooden stoves anymore. A lot of people don't even know how to build a fire anymore, let alone what would you eat, if the grocery markets went down and they weren't restocked. People do not realize and people don't prep, and it's sad to say. I mean, you don't have to live in the Midwest. And I think a lot of people don't think about these things. If you live in California or you live in Texas, someplace where the power grid is complete garbage, and that's not a focus right now. And we're adding electric cars, we're adding more electronics, air conditioning, all this stuff. Those lines go down, terrorist attack, heat, winter, whatever. People can't survive, and people aren't ready for stuff like this. And the reason why I bring that up is because one of the things I'm going to get back into doing, as when we used to do a lot of camping when the kids were little. I grew up a Boy Scout, and I grew up, bushcraft was it wasn't even, you know if you didn't grow up with like Foxfire books and uncles and folks who could teach you how to live off of the land, I mean, anything goes on. How are you going to survive? I mean, it's just one of those things too. So I was actually digging through some bins looking for an air mattress, because you guys know I did a turn and burn. Don't say that, Matt. That's not fair. Teslas are awesome damn cars, and you got to be a complete redneck with no understanding if you don't like those cars. I mean, I'm going to flat out say it. There's technology there in those things that, once they get this thing hammered out, because I'm not going to lie. If I could right now, I would go trade my truck in for a Toyota Sienna hybrid and camp in it, pull my kayaks and my boat with it, and get by just fine. But my daughter has a Tesla, and that thing is damn nice, and it makes sense for those who live in bigger cities. She can literally go anywhere and do anything she needs because she's not driving across the country and other things. So again, before you sound like complete idiots because you don't know what you're talking about, just take it easy, because most of you guys be, oh, I don't drive damn Tesla. Oh, but you'll power your kayak or your trolling motor with a lithium battery all day. You're not worried about fires there, are you? You know what I'm saying? So let's take a step back before you just start thinking that you know a lot about the technology in these cars. Because one of my jobs as information security manager is to pay attention to things that go on in different vehicles, cars, grids. We have to have redundant power sources. There's a whole lot that goes into it too. So when the gas gets up to $10 a gallon and you're not driving a hybrid of some sort. Now, don't get me wrong, I will never have an all electric vehicle. Never, never, never. But the hybrids where you have a mix of gas and battery, that shit makes a sense to me 100%. The Broncos have them. There's a lot of minivans. There's a lot of other trucks that are doing it now. It just makes sense. But there's no way I would have an all electric vehicle. But those who live in the city, no problem. But anyway, the point is, if you don't have basic fire starting skills, if you don't know how to process wood, if you don't know how to cook your own food, and I'm not going to get into videos skinning deer and turkey and all that stuff too. That's one of those things that you need to learn about. But if you can't process a simple fish or a squirrel or basics and to know how to grow and what kind of plants and stuff, that's going to be some stuff that that we're going to get into more on Hickman Outdoors, and that's one of the reasons why I changed the channel. That's one of the reasons, like I said, I'm losing weight to be able to go out and do more. But again, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that are soft, and you couldn't. There's a lot of people that don't know how to fight, don't know how to take a punch. Man, it's just one of those things. We've got to, as a nation, learn how to live, and I hope people really understand that. But again, we're going to start getting back into some of those basic. We're going to get back into some of those basic skills, and I know a lot of scout leaders out there, like Cairo and all that, are out there teaching those skills to young folks. And that's one thing you've got to know. You've got to know, and even more so, you've got to know it, but you've got to be able to pass it on. And but so I think we're going to have a lot more fun and showing a lot of this stuff too. But Matt, Jeremy, and I have talked about busting the kayaks down in some creeks, and we might do some catch and cooks along the way, or just bring some extra stuff and pull off after doing like a half day float, trying to chase smallies and whatnot, and pop up a quick fire. And the funny thing is, I didn't realize how many different little portable camp stoves, or how many different methods of making little stoves to be able to cook, whatever. When I'm out and about, I've done things that I've got so many little things like in go bags and just like backpacks that we used to use for camping and all that and whatnot too. And like I said, I've got bins of stuff out here too that I need to I need to pull out and do stuff on too. But just basic, you know, I'm not gonna dig that stuff out yet, but we'll, and then Jig Squad and I were talking about this the other night when he was on live, and just talking about little things like different everyday carry knives, like this Emerson Commander versus a bushcraft knife versus a skinning knife, and all kinds of little stuff, flashlights, things like that too. People carry. Who knows? We might get back into pew pew talk, like we used to do back in the day, but this platform, YouTube, doesn't like it at all, and neither does Facebook too. So I mean, leave that for the other people. A lot of you guys that have been around here a long time know I used to be a competitive shooter, firearms instructor, and all that stuff too. But I think more of the simplistic survival, but more adventure style videos is what you're going to see too. Um, and I've actually reached out to a few different. I've actually reached out to a few different outdoor brands that are probably going to start sending stuff that we'll talk about. So we'll bring those online when it comes into being thing. I'm not going to make this into a big commercial like I always do. I'll provide you with a bunch of different information. You choose what's best for you. I used to be a collector of, I don't know how many different types of knives from high to low. And there's, like fishing rods, you can always find something at your price point too that will do the job. Man, I can't wait. Hopefully, at Cairo, I mean, knives are, oh boy, don't get me talking about like 1911s and stuff like that too. Oh, good grief. Expensive is a, oh, what's the term I'm looking for? It's a expensive around. I know people with knives that are just insanely stupid, but I understand why they have them too. Some people, it's just like their collector thing. Like with pews, I know people, we always call them their barbecue pews because it's yeah, he has an EDC sales for like 125. Yeah, and I know people who do knives that are in the 500 to $1,000 range is crazy. Like Kool AP said, stocked up on fuel and ammunition and still feel like I need more. Yeah, there's subjective. Yeah, that's the word. Thank you, Matt. um Yeah, and to me, you can never have enough ammo. You can never have enough 22, 9, 223 shotgun shells, so forth and so on too. But again, that's for another discussion too. But looking forward to getting our kayaks. Jeremy and I are actually going to talk about doing some different wiring stuff this year too, just to try something maybe a little bit different. Even than what I did last year. Last year I did like the Yak Power stuff, but I've seen some different switching panels and stuff. I think one that maybe what the one Matt used in his truck is, I think, might be Jerry says he's got over 200 knives in his collection. It's just one of those funny things. I mean, some people some people that's like, you know how it is. I mean, people collect different things for different reasons, whether it's knives, flashlights, fishing rods, whatever. Um, oh, Alabama scored again. Okay, sorry. This game's going back and forth, kind of crazy. I knew I'd be nuts doing a stream during tonight too. But again, we're going to talk about different kayak batteries. It's funny, Jeremy and I were talking to a potential battery sponsor um, a couple weeks ago, and we were. I've heard different things, especially like with live scope, where someone told me that you should have a separate battery for your head unit and transducer than from your live scope transducer because of interference. And this person I was talking to was telling me that's not really true. You can use one bigger battery, which is what I've been doing. You just want better cables, and you want them. I don't think it was so much shielded, but as the connections, you really want them soldered and then wrapped to cut down on that interference. So instead of having multiple batteries, which is what I thought I needed, um, it's one of those things where I really want to focus on not just high end stuff too, because I do want to talk about different batteries for people that are getting into powering their kayaks, because you've seen a lot of people getting the higher end stuff. Like we use Dakota Lithium because they support KBF, and a lot of the other Militech batteries are also good, and they're sweet because they come with the built-in Bluetooth and an app. Their customer service is absolutely phenomenal. And then you've also got some who make like the Chins batteries that you see at Walmart, that I've had other people who actually are kind of in the kayak rigging industry that tell you that those are pretty quality batteries for what you get without having to spend, tons and tons of money. But sometimes, when you're buying more expensive things like lithium batteries, customer service is important. Response to them if there's an issue is important. And a lot of, standing by their products and things like that too. Long, good warranty, obviously, like we were joking about earlier about not catching on fire. Yeah, that's one of those things too. But it's one of those things. You see other people who take batteries apart because there's a lot of people who use the lithium batteries for the camping setups, whether they're doing vans, or they're doing the van life thing, or they're doing a lot of like overlanding things like that too. But I mean, that's the cool thing about like the Dakota Lithium power box, that you can plug and charge stuff in. Like these 23 amp hour Dakotas, they have the USB ports for just pop it down and plug stuff in, and keep your knife running too. Kara said, try to get a knife for Jay for Christmas, and he wouldn't do it. Yeah, I mean, but we're like I said, we're going to talk about all different types of stuff, and like I said, I'm putting feelers out. So if companies want to send us stuff to review and beat up and try out, we're going to do that too. I plan on having some fun times in the woods this year, but it's not going to be just straight tournament fishing and all of that. That's fun, but I want to get back to like literally having fun, chasing big smallmouths and whatnot too. So first, let's go back and do a quick recap, because I don't want to keep you guys on long tonight. I really wanted to talk about, we're going to be doing a lot more outdoor content this year. I've got old camping tents, and we might compare those to some of the newer pop-ups and things like that, if we get stuff, people sending them over. But I go through and I looked at some goals last year. I didn't catch my PB largemouth on the board. We did catch frogfish. Actually caught three. So we caught one down south early in the year before the deadline. And then I caught some more here in Indiana. I think every frogfish I caught was on that Spro flapping frog. And then that Spro flapping frog turned out to be a key player, along with that 6 Cents Crush, when we were down at Gunnersville, both for the KBF National Championship and for everybody. I think 3 out of the 5 out of us. I think me and Liz were focused on chatterbaits, and then I think Jeremy, Tweezy, and Alex were smacking them on the frogs. And that Spro flapping frog really make a big difference, of the year too. So we could do a little review going back. being at the Bassmaster Classic with Ralph, that was a good time. Like I said, I wanted to go this year, but that's too close to the NC this year. Oh, Ralph is out in California. It'd be like a 19-hour drive for him. But yeah, I still don't care for frog fishing. I can catch him. I can catch him plenty of other ways around the pads and stuff like that too. But if you if you haven't been to a Bassmaster Classic, if one happens to come near your location someday, it's worth going to it. Jeremy and I are life members, as is Ralph. That's why we like to do it too. And had it not been literally on the same weekend as the KBF National Championship this year, we definitely would go again. But I say that, but at some point in time, Jeremy and I have got to get our kayaks and get them rigged out, and we're really going to take our time this year in figuring out, kind of maybe doing some things different with the kayaks as far as rigging goes. This is going to be first time Jeremy's motorized. Um, I don't even think he's settled on what I think he does know what model he wants, but we'll unveil all that later on when the time comes, when we get those in, and we'll talk about it too, because we've got to get them sent to us and all that good stuff. So we'll get to that down the road. It's not going to be the priority. What we are going to try to do is we're going to try to spend some time in the boat over the next couple of months, and not all the time because it's still cold and we're not jacking with a lot of this crap while it's still freezing. But we do intend to take the boat out, and I've actually got it in the garage here on charge and rigged up. And I went and took it for a test run a couple weeks ago on the river, and of course skunked. It was the last day of the year. I went out trying to catch a fish, but boat's all ready to go. But there's a power plant lake that's like an hour and 30 minutes from us that we're gonna go try to fish on. That we hear is really wonderful, but right now it's closed down until I think duck season's over. So we're gonna go try to do all that. But again, Jeremy's in the process of moving, and we're gonna be doing some of that. Jeremy's gonna be doing some bait making videos here over the winter for showing off those do it molds. And he's gonna in his new place, he's gonna have a whole bait making room dedicated and all that too. So yep, Tweezy talking about turtle. We're going to hit turtle until we get the kayaks. And then once we get the kayaks, if we get them before we end up going down to the NC, we're going to go over to Newton. So yeah, Turtle Creek is where we plan on hitting. That's closer by. And then when we get our kayaks rigged out, we plan on going over and making some runs to Newton over in Illinois. So those are two power plant lakes. One's an hour and a half away, and then Newton's 2.5 hours away, which is still close enough. But yeah, so it should be pretty wild too. But like I said, you'll watch for those videos as well. Sponsor wise, I really haven't gone after and chased anybody new. I actually, like I said, I think we might back off of some too, just because what we don't want to do is become salesmen. And I listen to the feedback that we get, and I'm never. It's one of those things to me. If you see me using it, then I think it's worth using, unless it's something that was literally sent to me, and I want to tell you whether or not I think it's worth your time or not. Um, and it seems, with rods and reels and stuff like that, I can get those from American Legacy. If you guys got new stuff that you want, my opinion on, I'm happy to do that for you. One of the things we plan to do. Yeah, Tweezy says he needs to be on the boat at Turtle with y'all. Yeah, we'll definitely have to make that happen too. And the good thing is, I have a cousin who fishes out there, and him and his buddy, and we're going to hook up with them at some point after deer season, after duck season, or whenever it is they reopen after their downtime. And I'll probably start calling them like this week or next. But that way we can like bring some content to folks. And there's some big fish and turtle, from what I've heard. Now, if I remember, I think Tweezy snuck his kayak in there one time too, but that's a no for that place, because apparently it's one of those places that gets really affected by wind, so they don't like smaller. They do not like. Tyler wants to know, what do you throw on your SLX DCXT? I've got two of them right now, and those are my primary chatterbait and crankbait rods. So if you watched my knucklehead series, when you see me throwing that 6 cents crush and you hear that, that's that 6:3 gear ratio SLX DCXT. And then if you see me throwing a jackhammer, that SLX DC XT, whatever is what. So bladed jigs, and yes, the Daiwa Zillion got retired. That's probably going to become my glide bait reel, I'm thinking. Um, but yeah, I've put the Shimano SLX DC XTs on my crankbait and bladed jig rods, and then I think when I figure out what I want to throw, yes, Tyler 70. I think when I figure out what I want to throw, what kind of rod I want to throw those like glide baits and so forth on, I think that's where that Daiwa Zillion is going to go. But that might be overkill. I might just go with the I've got a Corrado 200K, I think it is. And I've actually got one of the Corrado M's. I need to compare the K with the M and talk about the differences in them as well. Bucktail says he got the Rona. It was 2 weeks before a wedding. Wife lady was not happy. I understand that completely. It's been going around. There were some folks in my office that had it, but thankfully they were at an off place event and didn't bring it to work with them the following weekend, or it would have took out the whole shop. It's just one of those things too. But man, what else we got going on for 24? I don't know. We're just gonna have fun. Like I said, I broke my. You haven't seen the video yet, but I did catch my PB smallmouth while on the water up in northern Indiana with Hook Life. We will definitely be making more trips 2.5 hours north to hit the rivers up there, to chase some smallies up there, because honestly, that was an absolute blast. We do have smallies in the creeks and rivers around here. They're just not that size. But we are going to spend some time, since Jeremy's moving down here this year, to get out and kind of see what kind of class of smallmouth are actually down here. But yeah, the goal this year remains the same. Try to catch that PB largemouth. I've not caught one that bigger than 21 and 21 on the catch board. And I still haven't broke my all-time record, which is 867 from a trip in Lake Fork back in like 1996 or 7, however long ago that's been. Biggest bass I've ever caught in Indiana was like 6.87 pounds, and that was back in 1998. So yeah, we'll still be trying to break and catch those as we go. But again, the goal this year is not going to be chasing all these local derbs. We're going to fish them, obviously. We're going to be fishing and looking for, bigger fish, but, we're going to be making trips around. Like I said, we're going to go over to Newton Lake in Illinois because there's some tanks. There are some tanks over there. And obviously, we're going to spend more time down in Gunnersville, since we have a resource named Chad Hoover down there to kind of hook up with and go fish too. You're actually going to see Chad and I doing some videos together. We're going to do some collaborations on a few different projects we got working on. Bucktail says he's wading the creeks for smallies, be my cure for wintertime blues. Yep. My goal is to keep going to the gym and get better so I can start creek fishing again. That'll be nice as well. But my goal right now, yeah, Jeremy's got to take off. They're playing cards over there. But again, my goal will be to keep, getting the weight off and being able to do more too. So that's kind of our, update for 2024. Not a whole lot. Just wanted to get on tonight and pop in with you guys. Be sure to tune in tomorrow night. It's the final of the Catch 22 for 2023, and with Chad Hoover. So we're going to go live here on YouTube and on the Facebook groups. Somebody just kick a field goal, extra point. I don't know. Alabama must have just done. Yep, Alabama just kicked another one. So we'll be talking about, there's going to be a lot of new stuff coming to KBF this year. So make sure you check us out tomorrow night. And then I'm trying for Thursday. If you want to hear from, I got to touch base with him tomorrow, but I should have Josh Shrenko, the Indiana smallmouth master, who won the Bassmaster kayak event up at the Susquehanna this year. Indiana's own Josh Shrenko. Y'all going to do the weight loss challenge this year? I don't know. Me and Chad, the Fishing Chaos just doesn't really handle that well. Chad and I still kind of keep track of each other. I think weight loss challenges are fine per se, but for me, the goal isn't weight loss. The goal is to be fit. Sure, I would love to be back under 200 pounds, but right now I keep trading pounds lost for muscle gained when I'm doing my weightlifting, my kettlebell workouts, and my elliptical and all that stuff too. I do want to get on, get out and start walking again as my knee can handle it. Hoping to win the KBF lifetime membership Catch 22. Yep. So be tuned in tomorrow night and we'll see who wins all of the final prizes. And then we're going to talk about a lot of the new stuff. We'll talk about a lot of the new stuff that the KBF is going to be getting into this year, because one thing that they're not going to be focusing on, since you have the Hobie BOS, you have the Bassmaster, you know, KBF does have its trail events, but they're also going to, yeah, like my buddy Zach says, he recomps too fast, he recovers fast, and then scale doesn't move because you start building that muscle and you're trading weight. But the goal is to build muscle, which overall helps burn it all off later. But I was 340, whatever it was, 18 months ago, and we're not there now, and we're going in the right direction. And I plan on taking rest of 24 to kind of get there, and then really get myself in a better shape over the next 18 months, 2 years. And that's the goal. It's not a resolution. It's just something I need to do. But again, we're going to have some fun. We're going to continue putting up the fishing videos, obviously, because we use it for veteran recreational therapy to encourage other people to come out and join us in outdoor activities. But again, we're going to start, doing more bushcraft, doing more camping and stuff like that too. So maybe you guys can get some other people out and do some kayaking, do some fishing, doing some some more things that are outside too. So the more that we can kind of spread the word, get folks out. Sure, we all love playing video games in the wintertime. I haven't had time for that in the last couple of years because I became a video dude. But for those that do, to kind of kill the wintertime blues, again, we're gonna focus on getting more people outdoors and active in the spring, summer, and fall while we can. So again, thank you all for popping in tonight. We'll be back live again tomorrow night with Chad Hoover, finish up the Catch 22 and launch the new Catch 22 for 2024. Because if y'all haven't seen, there's already fish on the board. So that was pretty awesome. I think I saw the first one come up like at 7 something this morning, and I stole the picture of it and posted it in a couple different places. For those of you who follow along with Freedom Squad, we have a Freedom Squad Facebook community that we just set up. So join us over there. We want to, that's going to be another place where we build platform, another place to share pictures, to spread the word, to get more veterans, homeland heroes, and folks that we want to support and get out and do outdoor activities with us. It's not going to be just about us three. We are all going to be in the Freedom Squad. So, if you've got veterans, homeland heroes, or others that you think could benefit from the effects of the of recreational therapy, that's really what that area is going to be for us to spread the word, get more people out, and do more active things and have some fun while we're doing it. And we'll post our pictures from our meetups and any events that we do, because you know how it is. Anywhere you see me, Jeremy, and Matt, you've got the Freedom Squad. And if two of us are there, same thing. I'm going to be getting some more stickers made up this year for both Hickman Outdoors and Freedom Squad. I'll probably do some hats because you guys love stickers and hats. I'm going to try to find somebody who, now that we've moved away from the whole fishing with Gramps dude, Gramps is still alive, but Gramps is all about, promoting the great outdoors. And I'm actually going to start working with some counties around Southern Indiana to promote tourism, if you will, to show off some of our sweet, resources around here, and try to encourage other people, like I said, to go out and visit. We've got the Hoosier National Forest around here. We got the state national parks. We got city parks, places to fish, places to camp, all kinds of stuff like that too. Probably do some contests to encourage people to pick up trash at their local boat ramps and places they camp, and stuff like that too. So you're going to see us be a little more conservation minded, and while we're promoting the outdoors too. So, we're just going to we're going to share and spread the word and do the right thing, if that makes sense. So I started to make out a list of all the things I wanted to cover tonight. Probably forgot 2 or 3 or 4 of them. It is what it is. That's what live streams are for. Wanted to get you guys together tonight just to kind of talk about what we're going to do in 24, and to remind you tomorrow we're going live with Chad Hoover. And then hopefully I have Josh Shrenko on Thursday. If it's not Thursday, then I'll get him set up for next week. You know what I'm saying? But, I'm glad you guys were all in here tonight. I'm glad. Thank you for the feedback. I don't think a lot of people, I think there's a few people that knew, but I don't think a lot of people really understood the impact um, that knucklehead had on me. The positive side of it, the positive side of it was being able to meet and fish with all of you guys. The downsides and the painful was, like I said, the weight on my shoulders for everything that was represented for me really, really, really wanting to have a veteran win the first Hero Cup because of how that whole thing kicked off. And to know that we led the whole thing all day long and then got passed by got passed at the end. um it hurt. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I really wanted that for my fellow veterans, for my brother, and for our team. That was amazingly awesome. Not that every other team wasn't awesome, and don't get me wrong, had I come in second after being in like eighth all day, it would have been a blast. I mean, that would have been the comeback. But yeah, I mean, it was one of those things. I really wanted a veteran to take that home, and not that I didn't want anybody else to win, but I really wanted the veteran to win, a veteran to win, and especially, I don't think any other team had more veterans on their team than Team Gramps. Me, Liz, and Jeremy, and then of course we were supported by Matt, and then we had Alex and Tweezy, who are our two hammers that were just amazing, amazing dudes to be with. But it is what it is. You can't win them all. And, hey, we still had a great story to tell. And we had a great group of people to tell it to. But love all you guys. I can't, again, we're over 30,000. We're over 30,000 on this channel. And that blows my mind. The funny thing is, we had I think 1 million more views on the channel this year with 3,000 less subscribers than the year before. It's kind of funny because growth wise, the year before was like the biggest subscriber growth. But this year, while we still had an amazing 7,000 plus, new folks to the channel, we had almost 1 million more views than any other previous year too. So that's really kind of cool if you think about, just a 55-year-old dude with his brother and his buddy out making fishing videos and traveling and kind of talking about what we talk about. And it was really cool too. And like you guys saw in the knucklehead video, having Kara there in the cove with us was really cool. And she went out and put the smackdown on them too. So it was certainly a pleasure having her and Jay, out there on the water with us. Her with us, with Jay, getting her, in and out of the water too. But it was really awesome. But I'll tell you what, the one blessed thing we had about Knucklehead was the befores and even up in the afters when everybody was coming over to the house. Had Wendell come over and smoke a stogie with us. Had Caro and Sly Fox and everybody swing by, and saw Jermaine and them at the event. And I mean, it was really, really cool. Just being around and seeing so many different people. After having obviously a great time at the Bassmaster Classic the year before, but those were really the two big highlights of the year. It was awesome. I mean, it was really awesome too. Uh, yeah, it's a blessing. I can't wait to do Knucklehead again with you guys. And I think those kick back off again in May. This year you'll have to compete for either Team Gramps or Team Jeremy if you're wanting to support us. So we'll see how, we'll see everybody duking it out then and have some fun with all that too. And then we'll do it all again. We'll go back down there and have some fun. But next year, I really want to plan on being able to get together with a lot more people, either a day after or, more than that. But make sure y'all go jump over and see Jermaine at Mainstream Fishing tonight. He's going live. I'm going to shut up and get off here and get set up for tomorrow night's live. And, and then we'll go from there. But again, you guys, thank you for everything this year. Once again, the support and love has been absolutely phenomenal. At some point in time, we'll talk about. No, I'm not even going to talk about that. I'll wait for Jeremy to be. That's something for him to talk about. Which way he goes. So, as always, love you guys. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for the phenomenal, growth this year. Again, it's been crazy. We'll be live again tomorrow night, as always. I know it's wintertime, and I'm saying it anyway. Get outside when you can and make some memories, whether you're fishing, walking with somebody, taking the dog for whatever. just get out there and make some memories. I'm gonna quit saying one cast at a time because that always alludes to just get out fishing. But get outside when you can and make some memories. Love y'all. We'll see you tomorrow night.